A couple weeks back, I saw Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Very sorry that I'm late to posting this review, but here are my thoughts on it. Hi, my name is Nathan, and I like to talk about a lot of movies on this channel. If you're new here, down below in the comment section, share what you thought of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, which was my most anticipated movie of the year. Over on my channel, there's more content like this. Check those out once this video is over. And if you enjoyed this video, click the like button and be sure to subscribe because that really does help a lot. With all that said, I'm just going to explain to you guys why exactly I'm very late into posting this video. Well, for one, it's because I had school. It came out the week I had finals and all that, so I was busy studying. I made it out to see Mission Impossible, but other than that, I was pretty much spending the entire other weekend studying. And so I actually saw it opening night that it came out, and then I spent the 3-day weekend with Memorial Day studying for that. I couldn't get around to that, and the first week of summer has just come around, so now I guess I'm officially a junior in high school. But I did record a review for this movie last week, actually. I went and edited it, and for whatever reason, the microphone was off and I didn't notice. So I shot this full 15-minute review of the movie. It was actually like a 15-minute review. And the microphone was off, and I was muted. I did a trailer reaction for Black Phone 2 also, and the microphone ended up being muted. Like, that was annoying. That was just annoying. And so, yeah, you guys will never see the Black Phone 2 reaction because the audio is muted, and like if I reshot that, it wouldn't be a reaction anymore. But I can reshoot this. So, with all that said, since I'm very frustrated, I'm going to finally shoot this review, and I actually checked right before this to see if my microphone was on. It is, and I'm pretty sure it is. Let's get started talking about the good. Alright, so when it comes to Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, this was my most anticipated movie of the year going into it. So of course I had to make time to shoot a review for it, and I forgot to mention this at the beginning. I'm also taking like a math course and things like that over the summer, so like things have just been all over the place. I'm trying to learn how to drive also. But anyways, back to Mission Impossible. This movie just delivers the cinematic experience and the crazy stunts and everything you expect from a Mission Impossible movie in this film. And what I mean by that is that the later Mission Impossible movies, what I'm particularly talking about is like 4 through today, and they always offer an experience that truly is cinematic, that is meant to see on the biggest screen possible, because the stunts in these movies, because Tom Cruise is being crazy, he makes sure they are practical. And so when he does these stunts, you actually feel it in the theater, and that's what this movie does so well, much like all the previous other films in this franchise. The standout sequences in this particular film are, of course, the submarine sequence, which is absolutely intense. It feels like it's practical. It doesn't look like they used a bunch of CGI or anything like that, because they didn't. The other one here is really the whole final battle, but of course the one in the trailers where he's hanging off of the plane, and it all just feels authentic because Tom Cruise makes sure to do his own practical stunts in the movie. I don't know that it needed to cost $400 million for this one, but that doesn't change the fact that it's an absolutely amazing theatrical experience. What I also really enjoyed about this one is that there are larger, more global stakes than there have ever been in this entire franchise. It follows up immediately after Dead Reckoning with the AI and everything, but then here, it really dives into the implications of what this AI could do if it was spread all around the world, if it gained control of all these things. And the stakes are absolutely global, which just adds a more powerful sense of tension. I think the most powerful sense of tension, potentially, that we've had in any of these films, because it's so massive and large in scale, and it offers very intense sequences. And as you feel what's going to happen if they fail this mission. And I just thought that was very well done. And they also liked how they tied it in with the continuity of the previous films. When this franchise first started, with its first 4 kind of films, they kind of were a little bit standalone. Like, you didn't need to I don't think you need to watch Mission Impossible 1 to understand Mission Impossible 3. But here, it ties into plot lines and elements from previous films that I thought actually worked nicely. I don't know if other people feel differently about that, but I thought it worked nicely and well enough in the way they did it in this film. And because it does that cleverly, I thought I didn't mind the whole, like, I've heard people online say that there's, like, it's a bit slow for the first, like, 40 minutes or something, but I honestly feel like it moved quite nicely for me. Like, I enjoyed my time with it from beginning to end, despite being a 2-hour, 50-minute movie. And also, what the Mission Impossible movies are just doing great at is, like, in every single movie, they add some new characters that absolutely stand out. Like, so, Ilsa Faust in Rogue Nation, Grace in the last one. In here, they don't add a whole bunch of new characters. They bring back a character from the first film, bring back some legacy characters that are kind of fun to see. But I think the real standout new character here is Tremel T. You might know Tremel T from being Mr. Milchick in Severance. And he just has this energy to him that I don't think any other actor could have brought to this character. Like, as soon as he says his first line that he says in this movie, the entire theater I was in, I remember, burst out into laughter. And then he says something later, like, they laughed at some of his lines like 3 times in the movie. And he's only in the film for about like 20 minutes, but he just stands out in this movie, in the scenes that he's in, because like he delivers lines in such a way that makes the audience have a reaction. And I thought he was just a very nice little addition to have in there in the middle of the film. And as the conclusion to the Mission Impossible franchise, I just thought they found a fantastic way to close out this entire franchise. Like, bookend it and finish it in a way that was emotionally satisfying. And it's filled with emotionally satisfying moments, like, or maybe emotionally devastating moments, especially at the beginning. I don't want to get into spoilers, but especially in the beginning. But when you get to the end of this movie, it delivers a very satisfying conclusion that feels right for the Ethan Hunt character and where this franchise has taken him. And I just loved what they did with all that. And so, in general, very good, worthy addition to the franchise. It wasn't my favorite of the franchise like I expected it to be, so let's move on to the bad. And I really don't have a lot of bad things to say about this film. I thought it was very good. I thought it was a worthy addition to the Mission Impossible franchise. But, like I said, it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't better than Dead Reckoning, because I just thought this franchise was, like, slowly improving all throughout. Maybe, like, I like some more than others, but, like, just in general, 3 through present, just absolutely chunked with fantastic films for me. And so, when it comes to the negatives on this movie, the only thing I really didn't like, I could just say, like, yeah, I think I would have handled that better, is the way they treated Gabriel, the villain of the previous film that returns in this movie. And I'd say there are some plot holes a little bit, if you could call them that, because they imply some stuff with Gabriel in the previous film that I thought we were going to learn more about in this movie, and we don't. If you see the previous movie, you will see flashbacks of Gabriel doing something in the past that involves Ethan and him were being recruited into the IMF, which is kind of interesting, and they give hints of that, and I thought they were going to explore that here, and they just don't. Like, we just don't know much more about him and why he ties into Ethan's past so much. And I also didn't like the way they treated him in this movie. The way they decide to, like, the way he's actually defeated in this film, I wasn't a big fan of that. It felt like a joke rather than like a satisfying, like that the villain was defeated. It didn't feel that climactic when he was finally taken down. And so that's something I would change about this movie, for sure. But other than that, I thought this was a very good movie. I had an absolute blast with it. And it has everything it does great. It does fantastic. And so overall, I'm going to give this movie an A. Maybe it should be an A-, but I'll give it an A because what it did fantastic. It delivered the experience, it delivered the emotion, it delivered the satisfying conclusion. And so, there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Down below in the comment section, share what you thought of it. I'll see you guys in the next one.